Hello and a very warm welcome to a new era of health promotion. This presentation gives an introduction to solution-focused health improvement in my speaking and in-house training courses. I am very happy to answer any follow-up questions, so feel free to call me or email if you prefer. My training makes it much easier for professionals to empower positive health-related behaviour change. For the last 10 years, I've worked as a consultant to the British Heart Foundation National Centre for Physical Activity and Health, based at the National Centre for Sport and Exercise Medicine at Loughborough University. My role has focused specifically on pioneering the use of solution-focused health improvement within routine medical, health and exercise interactions. I've trained thousands of frontline professionals throughout the United Kingdom. I'm very excited to now be working independently to reach a larger audience. And I'm very proud that my work has been recognised by dietitians in obesity management and the government. My training is underpinned by over 10 years of clinical experience working as a counsellor in the NHS, plus setting up an outpatient service for medically compromised adults with obesity and a service enhancing self-management of long-term conditions in general practice. I truly know how to empower the individuals and groups who use our services, and my mission is to disseminate these skills to create world-class health promoting services everywhere. Empower others is my mantra. I have pioneered solution-focused health improvement, a revolutionary approach to enabling health and well-being that is fast becoming the approach of choice for professionals around the world. In recent years, I've been invited to teach in Belgium, Canada and New Zealand as more and more practitioners want to gain these skills. This approach offers us practical ways of developing outcome-focused interactions that are both theoretically informed and evidence-based. Just one reason why practitioners like this approach is that it shows us how to make best use of short time frames. So, if you're someone who feels like they're being asked to do more and more with less and less, then these ideas are for you. This training will make your work easier and more effective. Lifestyle behaviour is now regarded as a major cause of morbidity and mortality and one of the most important determinants of future health. The state-of-the-art skills I teach provide professionals with a remarkable opportunity to prevent avoidable disease by proactively and sensitively addressing unhealthy lifestyle choices. These skills have been endorsed in a recent NHS publication. The Prevention and Lifestyle Behaviour Change Competency Framework recommends utilising a solution-focused approach for integrating health promotion into every clinical contact. My training will show you how to target key priorities, including health promotion, for example smoking, obesity, alcohol, sexual health, self-management of long-term conditions, personalised care, satisfaction, adherence to medication and advice. The professionals who attend my courses frequently confirm what the research tells us, that the easy part of our work is giving people information and advice. The challenge facing us all is how to help people transfer this information into lasting behaviour. Having found the right tools, I'm committed to spreading the latest skills so we can reach more and more people who are struggling with their health. To give you a flavour of the content of my courses, I would like to share 4 example easy to use strategies. And our first is join with competence. Traditionally, professionals have seen themselves as experts on problems and can feel responsible for fixing people's problems. The medical model informs this view. Practitioners work hard to gain insight into the problem, gathering information, making an assessment, formulating and validating a hypothesis, and treating the problem. When it comes to empowering self-care and health behaviour change, this way of working can be very tiring and frustrating, and too often we can feel responsible for fixing these problems. A danger of traditional approaches is the temptation to view people as problems that need fixing. We have been led to believe that the people using our services lack something. Usually we hypothesise they're lacking information or motivation. Consequently, professionals have worked incredibly hard, and whilst the professional is being very active, the person is rendered a passive recipient of our care. I'm sure you've heard the old saying that sums this up. A good patient is someone who does what they're told. It's important to realise that psychology, being a younger discipline than medicine, inherited the medical model view of the world. And this is understandable, as experts at that time did not question the thinking that had led to the huge advances in the treatment of infectious diseases. Although the problem-solving paradigm remains the best approach for physical problems, I want to suggest to you that when we think of psychological, behavioural and emotional problems, we have found that problem solving is very limiting and can in fact make change harder for people. So it's not surprising the Department of Health criticises services for spending too much time on and energy analysing problems and not enough time developing and delivering practical solutions that connect with real lives. Especially as we now have new ways of helping available, and the solution-focused health improvement approach has been at the centre of this. Indeed, we have now shown that talking and understanding the problem is not necessary for change to happen. The artificial link between problems and solutions that has dominated for so long has been broken. Our new ways of talking and directing interactions focus on making change as easy and as simple as possible, giving people access to health-orientated conversations which hold the highest probability of building solutions and better outcomes. Engaging in this new way privileges individuals as the experts in their own lives, where their own personalised solutions emerge from their unique preferences, needs, culture, education, socioeconomic background and their environment. The individual constructs his or her own solution based on his or her own resources and successes. And we can enjoy working in productive partnerships where we enable people to take personal responsibility for their choices and lifestyles. At a time of difficulty in the NHS, this way of working allows us to maximise the greatest and most abundant resource we have: individuals themselves. This unique method of collaborative partnerships leads us to our second strategy: be guided by best hopes. Traditionally, professionals and services have imposed their goals onto others. For example, even before we've met someone, our goals may be predefined. So maybe we're wanting them to lose weight or stop smoking. The agenda was already set. And because it was rare for two people to have the same goal at the same time, people have to fit with the professional's goals. This mismatch can lead to frustration, unproductive appointments and missed opportunities. However, that is okay because researchers and academics developed expert theories and labels that explain away these failures. For example, I'm sure you've heard professionals saying, "This person is not motivated." I personally come across this attitude all the time. Of course, what they're saying is that the person was not motivated for what the professional was wanting. Another is this person's resistant. And again, I would add that the person was resistant to what the professional wanted. Or this person's ambivalent. They just weren't sure that they wanted what the professional did. Interesting, isn't it? Or my personal favourite, and this is the one that lets professionals off the hook. If all else fails, I advise using this one. The person was not ready to change. Or is it they weren't wanting what the professional wanted? I hope my teasing highlights the expert professional who knows what is best culture that has dominated our services and how we think about changing health behaviours for so long. I am offering you a completely new approach where these historical expert theories are replaced by the central idea of cooperation. We now recognise that whatever the individual is doing is the best that he or she can do right now and represents their best way of attempting to cooperate with us. Given that, what we need to do is find ways of cooperating with the person's best way of cooperating. Can you imagine a time when you only work with genuinely motivated people? Now, of course, they may not be motivated for whatever you were wanting and whatever your agenda was in the past. If people are coming to our clinic, phoning us, letting us into their home, or in some way engaging with us, they are wanting something. What is it? And so our new agenda in 21st century health interactions is to find out what this is and serve this unique want. A key question for cooperating with our individuals and to begin eliciting what it is that they want is simply, what are your best hopes from our work together? You may want to change the language, but the question remains the same. We are asking, what are you desiring? No doubt that you'll be aware that very often patients are stuck in their problem, and I'm routinely getting the feeling that people are well rehearsed in their problem story. So it's not surprising they commonly answer this question with regards to things that they don't want. For example, to not be in pain or stop having anxiety. All these answers are problem based. And our solution focused work begins with guiding people to think through what it is that they want and articulate it as something that's positive and an outcome. For example, I want to get back to being myself, or I want more energy. Crucially, we are now working towards the presence of something rather than the absence of something. And this is key for developing productive interactions. To experiment with this idea, try out this exercise. In a second, pause this presentation and for a few minutes consider the following questions. What are your best hopes from this presentation? How will you notice later today that it was helpful? And what will this lead to? Now pause the presentation and jot a few answers down. Welcome back. That was a mini sample of the future orientation that is being shown to help with behaviour change. And from my courses, you will leave with all the skills to use this strategy and know when it is appropriate. I encourage you to work in a new way which allows us to see everyone as well-intentioned and wanting to create a positive future. Problem solving is hard work. I don't recommend it. There is a better way. Our next example strategy is explore preferred futures, and this is where the approach really comes alive. Our conversations are guided by answering what are your best hopes from our work, and how will you know when you're experiencing your best hopes or making progress towards them. For example, this person's best hopes are, I want to be happier, and the professional can begin guiding the person to their solutions by asking, what will be happening when you're happier? I'll be getting on with my life, the patient says. What will tell you that you're getting on with life? I'll be getting up earlier. And we can ask, and how will this be good for you? And another person's best hopes is, I want to have more good days. And we can ask, and what will be happening when you're having more good days? I won't be tired, the patient says. So, if you weren't tired, what would you be instead? I'd have more energy. And what would you do with this energy? I'd be outside going for a walk, the patient says. As you can see, our questioning enables people to start finding their own solutions. Our final strategy in this introduction is build on what is already working. Individuals are always investing in their health and well-being, and so we can find aspects of people's best hopes and preferred futures that are already happening if we take care to ask. For example, we could ask, when was the last time you felt like staying in bed but you somehow got yourself up despite the pain? Or, how is not using a wheelchair all day good for you? You can see we have moved away from thinking we have to initiate change. Rather, now we can join with and amplify what is already working in people's lives. Your second and last exercise is to choose a recent piece of work that went well and jot a few things down around, what did you do well? What might the person have appreciated about how you did this? How did you know this would be a good thing to do? Stop the presentation now. Welcome back. I hope that short exercise has given you an insight into the positive experience that individuals benefit from through recognising what they're doing well. The key advantage to this way of working is being liberated from having to spend time on individual problem behaviours, thus fulfilling NICE is cool for training in communication skills that goes beyond focusing on single issues. Imagine, if you will, a harbour. The water is the individual's best hopes, and all the priorities we have as professionals are the boats. Be that medication adherence, relationships, sleep, healthy eating, physical activity, self-management of long-term conditions, smoking cessation, being fully engaged with professionals, returning to work, or well-being. Gain the skills to serve individuals' best hopes. Make progress towards these, full in the knowledge that as the tide rises, all the boats naturally rise as they float upon the water. You will now be promoting behaviour change to enable individuals to improve their total lifestyles. As you have seen, the psychology of health promotion has come a long way. We started off with approaches being guided by the question, what is the cause of the problem? And later, the field moved on and approaches developed around the hypothesis that people move through a process of change. And so we asked, how can we help people through it? Both of these are problem focused. You may be familiar with this book by some leading figures in the traditional world of health behaviour change, who are skilled in motivational interviewing and the stages of change model, which again you may be familiar with. In fact, most professionals I work with, if they've done any behaviour change training before, have done so in these approaches. And I also have done some training in these approaches early in my career. As I was rereading this book, I was really struck by their comments towards the end. Just briefly, they mentioned that new approaches are emerging that they have not explored. However, they highlight their key benefit, that these new approaches start with the expectations of the client. And that is why I've been keen to point out the importance of solution-focused health interactions working towards individuals' best hopes. To summarise, these skills are essential to every professional as we shift away from a sickness service towards disease prevention and management. Every frontline professional now has the responsibility and freedom to contribute to health promotion as part of routine practice. Secondly, people's lifestyle decisions are highly personal, and the public do not want professionals to take responsibility away from them. Remember my mantra, empower others. Thirdly, our empowerment strategies are being urged to move beyond the medical model and acknowledge the wider determinants of health, psychosocial factors, and specifically individuals' desire for autonomy and partnership. Services are being criticised for concentrating on single problem issues, and it is recommended that health promotion should address individuals' total lifestyles. Solution-focused health improvement enables professionals to respond accordingly by moving beyond traditional expertise and training. And we have looked at just 4 ways of doing this. By joining with the person's own competence, by working towards the individual's best hopes, and by following these best hopes to explore their preferred future, and by respectfully building on what is already working in their life. Please know an easy to read summary of my work has been published by the Faculty of Sport and Exercise Medicine. It's available as a free download on my website. This summary formed part of a resource given to all medical students in the UK. I wish to extend a personal invitation to you to give me the opportunity to work directly with your service. Here are just a few of the many organisations who have already benefited from my in-house training. Please do ask if you'd like to speak to a previous commissioner for their feedback. Participants work hard on my courses, but I always make the work fun and enjoyable. The learning activities are varied, with me teaching, some skills exercises, along with videos of real health interactions and discussions. The learning experience is engaging and truly inspiring and practice changing. The courses always attract positive feedback. Here is a selection of comments, all taken from my last training course. Great course, thanks. Gareth is a great tutor and has convinced me that behaviour change really works. I agree. Tutor was great at helping people on the course feel relaxed and that their contribution was appreciated. Gareth has been a godsend. His teaching methods are highly impressive and I did not lose interest throughout. Gareth's approach was excellent. The theory he is teaching is really good. I can see how it could work and I will use it in my day-to-day life. Tutor was amazing, really important messages, life-changing if used. We love your approach and style of delivery. Thank you. One of the most motivating yet simple training courses I've attended. A lot of content broken down into manageable chunks and well explained. One of the best training sessions I've attended. In fact, I struggle to think of one training course where at least one person has not written that it was the best training course they've ever done. I've even had professionals take annual leave and pay to attend a course for a second time. I think this should be delivered to all who offer a frontline health promotion service. And excellent teaching, superb content, trainer was amazing, made you feel so at ease and reduced my nerves. Pleasure to learn from. When considering whether to commission this training, it will also be helpful to hear from professionals about the impact the skills are making in their day-to-day work. If you haven't already, I encourage you to watch the videos on my training courses page of my website. There's 7 different ones of professionals explaining the amazing difference the skills are making. For example, you can hear from a GP who was on the verge of giving up general practice before finding this approach, which he now describes as brilliant and a wonderful new approach. A school nurse who explains that it's the best training she's done in her 30-year career. And you can hear from an occupational therapist who tells that it's made her treatment more effective and quicker. And she believes these skills should be part of everyone's core training. Please connect with me on social media to get updates, information and practice tips. Thank you for your interest in my work. Any opportunity to share some of these ideas is a real gift for me. These skills have made an incredible difference to my practice, and I look forward to passing them on to you, your colleagues, to enable you to reconnect with why you do what you do and to encourage you to do it in an even better way. The world needs you and your team at your best, and these skills can help. I look forward to speaking to you at an event, on a course or over the telephone. Please do take the initiative to get in touch. Thank you.